But there seems to be a pattern here. These biopics tend to reinforce kind of the official story in a way, and the negative parts or the dark parts or the tragic parts are maybe there in the fringes or they're not there at all. And it seems to me like these movies tend to do well because there's a lot of people out there who just want the feel-good story. Like, I find it very easy to separate art from artist. I can enjoy somebody's work while at the same time being very honest and very scathing about what kind of person they were. And I don't feel like there's a contradiction there.
I don't think maybe there has been a biopic, but I just haven't seen one where, of course, they can't show the full truth, but they're not showing the dark sides of that truth also, where everything mainly we're just seeing that person in like an angelic light, and they're not showing the full truth. So that's why I do think we shouldn't really expect the full truth a lot of these biopics, because I don't think there's going to be someone that's going to be, I wouldn't say bold enough, I don't think that's the right word to use, but someone that will come out and give a green light to the dark sides, like the proper dark sides of his life. Don't expect to see the full truth, especially when it comes to the more heinous and darker stuff.
I think you probably need 100 or 200 years to pass.
Yeah.
Like, no, like everybody who was in any way related to this needs to be long dead, and then you can take whatever stance you want.
Yeah.
Like when Ridley Scott made a Napoleon biopic 2 years ago, that was not a popular take on who Napoleon was, and it wasn't apparently all that factual because it's a 300-year-old story. Nobody owns it in that sense, right? Like, it kind of becomes just part of human history. And maybe in 200 years there will be a Michael Jackson biopic that just has sufficient distance that nobody feels touchy about it. But like Michael Jackson, he's been dead for like 20 years. His children are alive. His family is alive. People who grew up on his music are alive today. It just cuts too close to home, I think. Under those circumstances, you can't expect an honest story. Like, it has to be calculated. The Smashing Machine last year seemed to be much more honest about that. And we had some reservations about that when we talked about that, but that's still like a person who's still alive. It's about kind of a person who falls really hard after losing for the first time and descends into like drug abuse and depression and self-destructive behavior, and then claws his way out again and then wins in the end. And all of that seems to be pretty historical, but because it's not a huge story in the sense of somebody that everybody knows and that everybody feels strongly about, it's easier to at least, and I don't think that movie was completely honest either, that if you go back to our review of that, we still have some reservation. We said at the time, like, something's off about this. But that is the kind of thing where you can tell a more nuanced story if people are not as invested, because it's a smaller, more niche story that not as many people care about as much. But Michael Jackson, everybody cares. Everybody has such strong opinions that it's impossible to just tell the story as it happened. In addition to the difficulties of what even did happen.